condition, but it's a request. We have 8 speakers on one item, and that item is regarding a liquor license application for 60 North First Street. Is it possible that those 8 people could come up forward here and choose one representative to speak on their behalf? I'll give you an extra couple of minutes. Do you want to do that, or you want to come up individually anyway?
We could consolidate it. We have certain people assigned to certain subject matters,
But it'll be short.
and we realize that it's supposed to be somewhat.
Well, if you have it set up that way, it's 2 minutes for each individual. We consolidate, we'll see how it works. But
If we consolidate, I think we're.
well, because I have the first person here as Katie Alexander. Is that?
I'll pass on mine.
You'll pass. Okay. Then we have
Somebody has to do it.
Can we?
Hazel.
I'll do it.
Hazel Pickett or
Blanket.
Plunkett. Sorry. Is that lady?
Yeah. Could the 5 of us come up and speak?
You want to all come up?
Yeah.
All right, come on up. Why don't you just all come up? Okay, Hazel Plunkett, Jane Parker.
Ice cage.
Malecki. And then we have Paul Sperduto and Tom Nolte. Are you all here? Okay. So how do you want to do it? One person or a couple of people? What do you want to do?
Just as a quick introduction, we're here opposed to...
Now, it's 2 minutes per person if that's what you're going to do. All right. Okay, great. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we're here against the proposed nightclub at 60 North First Street between Kent and White. This is, if you see the block, it's now a heavily residential block. We've collected several hundred signatures from people in the neighborhood, anywhere from, I personally represent 80 Metropolitan as the president of the board there, and we have about 200 plus people living there, dozens of children. We have 66 North First, I believe 100% of their building is against. We have people, local business owners, we have local residential people that have been here for decades. We also have the PS84, the principal of PS84, the staff there, concerned parents there within 1,000 feet of the proposed nightclub. And the church in the area. There's basically the entire community is against this development. And we have some people to speak specifically to some of the issues. About at least 250 probably here that we've collected so far, and more on the way.
This is the last page of what we. The last page of what we gave. We only had a few copies. Sorry. Is the same club that they want to make on First Street that is actually in the Lower East Side, and that'll give you a good idea of what he's actually planning to do, which he actually also somewhat admitted at the committee hearing.
Just a quick few comments. My name is Anna Maria Laidlaw. I live at 66 North First Street. If everyone from the neighborhood could stand up quickly, just to show how many of us really came out tonight.
Oh, yeah.
The community board members mentioned tonight to a lot of the other presenters up here that, have you reached out to the community? Have you reached out to small businesses about your proposal? And Mr. Dimitrov, who is the proposed, developer of this space, had never reached out to anyone in the neighborhood. We never knew about this. The businesses don't know about it. The churches, the children's centers don't know about it. And he's proposing to, develop a 10,000 square foot place with performers and busing in hundreds of people to our neighborhood.
Ice cage.
To this nightclub. And so we just don't think it's good business practice, and as you can see, we have a lot of support, against this establishment.
here a few years ago, and we live in 80 Metropolitan, and we have a 1-year-old daughter, and our dream was to, to explore a new neighborhood, which has been exciting for us. But if you read a New York Times article from January 21st, 2011, it's entitled Williamsburg Toddler Town, and it's definitely truth be known if you look at the photographs in any given day, if you walk around the immediate neighborhood of the said location being proposed. We have dozens of families in the immediate area only in the last 2 or 3 years. I'm a representative of that. We have many 2, 3, 4-bedroom units just within our development. Within a 1 to 2 block radius, there's at least 30 to 40 children under the age of 3. To give you an example of statistics, there are 3,800 members in Greenpoint and North Williamsburg for Brooklyn Baby Huey Group, which is the mom's group in the area.
Yeah.
Many active members take their children exactly down this block. In fact, within 700 feet of said location is the Sheridan Playground. PS 84, which is less than 1,000 feet, we have actually the principal, Sarita Rodriguez, and her PTA board supportive of the petition. We also have active activity centers within several blocks. I'll name several of them. Streb, which is a family-friendly activity center directly across the street. We have Miss J's Gymnastics and Dance Studio 3 blocks away. Baked in Brooklyn, which is a child pottery business 2 blocks away. Frolic, which is a preschool or toddler play space 5 blocks away. The YMCA Children's Center 3 blocks away, and El Puente, which is several blocks away. On the medical side, we have Tribeca Pediatrics. There are 2 blocks away, dedicated medical center for children. We have children clothing stores, Area Kids, Flying Squirrel. These are all within blocks of the immediate location. Our concern, to get to the point, is that there are several on the SLA, State Liquor Authority website, publicly available, violations from the Lower East Side location of narcotics. That they are the following. The illegal sale of alcohol to minors, unlicensed cabaret, unlicensed bar, health violations. This is not a place where children should be exposed. Since the playground and school is less than 1,000 feet away, I served on the New York City grand jury for special narcotics. Anything within 1,000 feet, if there's drug sale or usage, is significant, big-time jail fines, additional fees, etc. Fines. Final statement, based on the influx of families into this area and children, this is not a safe location for us to expose our children to, so we really ask that we stop the proposed use based on those points.
My name is Hazel Plunkett. I live in 66 North First. I'm the parent of a 15-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl. So I just want to speak up for that age group. They are at even more risk of increased risk exposure to drugs and alcohol. And I think it's a concern that's shared by a number of organizations, churches, and youth groups in the area. I've started talking to many of them, and I hope some of them are here tonight. They include STREB, the YMCA After School Kids in Control program, which is in PS 84 on Berry Street, and El Puente, who've been incredibly receptive. I'm sure you all know them. They've been in the area for over 20 years. They do some incredible work, arts, culture, education. They even run a public high school. And maybe a plug for churches in the area. I've only managed to speak to the pastor at the Polish church, but he's already signed the petitions and promised me that on Sunday he'll be talking to his congregation. He's very worried. And there are a number of other churches who I've left information, and I'll be following up with them. So just to let you know that it's not just me. I'm worried about my kids being at increased risk, but I think it's everyone else around me.
I know there's a lot of concern about the gentrification of the neighborhood, and I just want to say, as someone who lives across the street, directly across the street from 60 North 1st Street, in a townhouse with my son, who's 3, I'm a 25-year New York City resident. I've been almost 10 years in Brooklyn, and in Williamsburg, actually. I was in the South Side, and in 2010, I moved to the North Side, where I live now with my son. I'm the daughter of an Italian mother and a Polish father who's an artist. This neighborhood suits me more than any. I took my mother to an Italian church to see an Italian mass for Christmas, and my father to the Key Foods on Manhattan Avenue to buy the ingredients for stuffed cabbage. and we buy art supplies in the neighborhood. We fit here. After the last community board meeting, which had a bunch of newspaper articles where I was interviewed, and there was a Channel 11 TV program that I was interviewed for, I started to get hate mail that I should move to Connecticut. But this neighborhood is the neighborhood I want to be in. It's the neighborhood that fits me, and it's a neighborhood where I want to raise my son. So I think that the hate mail partly comes from the fact that the proprietor of this establishment across the street, exactly across the street from my front door, which leads right to my bedroom, not to a lobby, I mean, not my bedroom, my living room, has said things that have been very violent and war-related. His comments in newspaper articles were, quote, "I will not surrender," which to me is a term of war, not a term of wanting to work with the community. When I was at the last community board meeting, he turned around and addressed me individually to tell me that I should learn to have a little more fun. I would suggest that everybody has the right to live their life the way they want to, and he's perfectly able to open up a club in an appropriate neighborhood. This is not it. This street, I will tell you because I live there, is a very narrow one-way street that we currently have a lot of construction on this street. And I can tell you the construction workers, every morning you have to sort of say, like, this is my stoop, you know, please don't eat your breakfast here, because they then leave parts of their breakfast. I can only imagine what somebody in an establishment that's from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning is going to leave on my front step while they're stumbling home. I think we all know what it's going to be. So I think that the problem really is that this is just not the place because, and I will say that the proposed proprietor also told me that I should have never bought in this neighborhood because there was a commercial space across from me, so how stupid I was to buy. This is not somebody who wants to work with the community, who wants to fit into the community, who wants to address the character of the community. This is someone who wants to be at war with the community. And as I was saying, there is a lot of construction on the block right now. As soon as you put a car in the center lane of this street, there is no way to pass. Okay, so they've been putting up all kinds of barricades on the street while they're doing construction because, you know, regardless if it's a small car or a truck, you cannot pass. And so what I want you to envision in your mind is taxis idling for people that are going to be, you know, taxiing back home to Manhattan because they don't live here, because they're going to come in here on the party bus. Because he has a party bus in which he brings people in. I've seen this party bus. He's been parking it at this space. He's been renovating it at this space. You can see from this sheet on the back of it, you know, he's got pole dancing. He's got, you know, a lot of very indiscreet shots of women's rear ends as sinks and their lips as urinals. I mean, certainly, you know, this is a completely residential block with no business. The only business is Streb, and Streb has children's classes and other athletic and dance classes. This is not serving our... Okay. This business doesn't make sense in this neighborhood. Even the business plan itself does not make sense if you look at the details of it. The roof is not accessible at this moment. He'd have to redesign the roof. It is not meant to hold people on this roof, and he wants a 6,000 square foot roof. There's no parking. And I just say to you that if this is approved, what will happen is that this community board will be besieged by complaints. We will take this to the 500-foot hearing. We know what the next steps are. We will retain counsel if we need to, and we will continue to go. And if you're here for this and you haven't signed our email sign-up sheet, please do. Thank you.